Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the live daily extra with me, Ped. Baz is currently in Manchester with Gary Neville. Apparently, I mean, I don't get invited to these, hobnob with the stars and stuff like that. I mean, that is a lie. I've been invited in the past, but obviously, now I'm too devoted to Toffee TV to do that. So it's me today on the live daily extra. Moise Kean last night basically scrubbed his Instagram account, which is the only social media he uses. He got rid of all the pictures on it, leaving 3 or 4 videos. He did put something in his story saying, I think it said back soon or something like that with the fingers crossed, which could be just that he's back from the reason why he was out. But obviously with a lot of talk of him possibly going back to Inter Milan, back to Italy. A lot of people are taking this in a lot of different ways. Listen, for all we know, the lad may be absolutely, he's seen his little dream dashed, hasn't he? He's seen his dream dashed of going to Paris Saint-Germain. They're clearly not going to come in for him now with signing a certain Messi. They're not going to come back for him. They're going to be trying to shed as many players as they can now to look after that squad. So for him, he's seen that dream dashed. That's what he wanted. And to be fair to him, he did well over there and he loved it over there. So maybe he's thinking, right, well, this is a fresh start. Clean off all me posts off Instagram. And whatever happens, happens. So I don't necessarily take this as that he's 100% leaving or he's got somebody lined up. I know there are rumours of him going to Inter Milan because, and I think Sky Italia have come up with that today. But I think that might just be people putting 2 and 2 together. I don't necessarily think he'd be their first choice, although he would be probably good for them because ultimately, if you look at Moise Kean on the basis of what he did at Paris Saint-Germain last season, he had a really good season for them. And if you forget about what he's done for Everton, that was the best shop window we had for him. Obviously, sitting on our bench wouldn't have been. So that's definitely the best shop window for him. And he scored goals, in the Champions League. And he could be exactly what Inter Milan need. But we'll have to wait and see. But he is an Everton player. And I imagine he'll be an Everton player on Saturday. And he probably will be involved in Saturday if he's over the illness that kept him out at the weekend. So very, very, very interesting set of circumstances. And it just, for me, the whole thing from looking at social media last night was, it just shows you how social media works, where it's supposed to be a tool for communication, but it's almost like a breakdown in communication because the lad's obviously trying to say something, but he's not saying it very well. And that leads to people then getting on his back. And I just wish people could communicate better, because if they could, I mean, that's as the football as a whole. I mean, we're seeing today the stuff with or certainly in the last 24 hours, the stuff with the tickets, which is causing no end of problems for Evertonians who've gone for the digital tickets. They're supposed to be getting sent out today, but, it's Wednesday today, and people think, well, if it's Wednesday and we're only getting our tickets, then what's the system going to be like as a whole? So I think this definitely, and I'm just looking in the comments here and there's people having a go at him, but the problem is what are they having a go at him for? Because ultimately, what has he done? What has he said? He hasn't said anything. He hasn't actually done anything. He deleted all his pictures, which I think include his Paris pictures as well. So is this the problem? Is this the problem with modern football? Is that, or any football, is that you've got a tool to communicate, but your communication skills are so poor that you can't get across what you want to say. I really love these footballers that use social media to get across exactly what they want. Seeing it this summer with different people, when stories appear about them and they come out and go, no, that's not true. That isn't what's happening. And the lad's actually got a tool to do that. And he's put across such a poor message that no one knows what's going on with him. You know, if he wants to leave, just don't say nothing. If you want to stay and you're ready to play for Everton, then come out and do that. But you know, you're not going back to Paris. There's no way on earth that's going to happen, is it? So we'll have to see what happens next. But Everton have got just under 3 weeks to sort out a few deals. So we'll have to see what happens. Eugene says Everton linked with Sean Longstaff. Yeah, they've been linked with them for a while, to be honest. For not just under Rafa Benitez, but for a while. Glenn Watson says, is Moise Kean going? Honestly, your guess is as good as ours, because it's these links. If you'd asked me a month ago, a couple of weeks ago, I'd say, yeah, he'll end up going back to Paris one way or another, whether it is a last minute loan deal or whatever. But now that seems to have been completely thrown out because now, you know, they've got Icardi sitting on the bench now. Are they really going to want Moise Kean? I don't really think so. Whammy Spoon says, yep, our club is run by idiots. DKXM Everton says, Kean, I hope, stays. Kieran says, a lot of Blues saying it's about PSG, but is it about Italy? Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Nobody actually knows. Nobody actually knows what that means. Who's he talking to? You know, because that was the other thing about it. He got rid of everything off his Instagram account. And people then start looking at it forensically and like, what does it mean? Just tell us what it means. Tell us what it means. Simple as that. Tommy says if he does go, we will need a backup striker to come in. Absolutely. Joe says it's going to be a long, hard season. Mike says depressing pre-season this. Marcel Brands 1878 says F Moise Kean, disrespectful T. Well, who's he been disrespectful to? That's the point. Who's been disrespectful? What's he actually saying? You know what I mean? Has he dropped a hint about his future? You know, or is he talking to Evertonians? You know, he's got the tools there to communicate with us, and he's not doing a very good job. DKXM says Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I don't think is consistent enough. Just consistent enough to be our top goal scorer and be England's second striker. So there you go. James Dunlop says if Moise Kean wants to leave, let him go, but only on a payment. No player is bigger than club. I don't think anyone feels any different than that, mate. But it's not about who's buying him. Everton, come on you Blues, says we'd better not sell him. He's an amazing young footballer and still getting used to the Premier League football. We need to give him more time. No, but is he an amazing young footballer though? Is he an amazing young footballer? Is that's quite debatable. And what's his position? Where would he play? Because he wouldn't get in before Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It's as simple as that. You know, we bought wingers for Dominic Calvert-Lewin essentially. So I don't think he's getting in ahead of him. Whammy Spoon says trying to buy some no mark right back for 3 million and sell Kenny for 5. Yeah. Gate. Bobby Blue Ace, has any estimates on Moise Kean's fee? 30 million. Well, he wanted about 30 to 35 million for him off the back of what he did last season, his age, and the market. But unfortunately, the market's gone out the window for a lot of clubs. Clubs at the top are buying, but they're buying quality, paying money for quality. There's not a lot of those sort of intermediate deals happening at the moment. And this is where it's really difficult. We need to shift them and we can't. Hennessy95 says, Ped, how does FFP work in regards to potentially getting 25 million for Kean? How much would that mean would be available for Everton? Well, it's a weird factor, but we would get, if we got 25 million for him, I think it works like in multiples. So it's not like if you get 25 million, you can spend 25 million. It's like it works in multiples. So we'd actually have more to spend, I think. So it's complicated. And it's nonsense. It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Glenn says, if we are resource constrained, I'd rather have one right back and one centre forward rather than two centre forwards and no starting right back. Yeah, but you'd want both really, wouldn't you? And by selling Moise Kean, you could probably get both. Probably go and get another one. It's all about shuffling what you've got, isn't it? It's all about, it's all about just moving the money around. We've shown already that there is a market out there that we can exploit. And if you've got money, but you need money in the first place to exploit it. And if you can get rid of someone, this is where the top clubs are really, really good. They bring in a lot of players and then they sell them with their little tax on top. And they're not needed. So it's like free money. And they keep on. That's what Chelsea have been doing for years. And it just keeps the wheel spinning. They're gonna bring Lukaku in for, what was it, 95 million. But they're gonna get like 30 million or just under 30 million for Tammy Abrahams. There's a third of Lukaku's deal already done. So that's the way, Liverpool got 12 million quid for Wilson. Someone who done it in the Championship. Man City will get money in for something. The kid who Harrison went to Leeds. They probably got like 12 million quid for him. Didn't pay nothing for him. That's how these clubs do it. But we brought Moise Kean in and we're stuck at the moment because no one's got the money. Joe Malone says, wonder if we say to Inter, you can have Kean for less money if you don't sign Dumfries and let him take him. I think that ship might have sailed, sadly, on Dumfries. They've got the money because of Lukaku. They were looking at him, they were sniffing around him early on in the window. They never had the money, and now they've got that little bit of money to have him. So, again, he's one that we should have tied up earlier, but like our eyes are bigger than our belly. We thought we could move people around, and we haven't been able to. Let's have a look. Dan Boy says, Kean, John Joe and Delph out. Right wingers, Zakaria and Botta in. Successful summer. Well, it would only be a successful summer if we could actually get those players out, and that's what we're struggling with, because no one's buying. None of the lesser teams have got money. No one in the Championship's got money. No one abroad's got money. It's because after the back of COVID, so we're stuck with players we just don't want. But a lot of teams are in the same position. There's a lot of teams out there who've got players they just don't want. And that's the thing now. That's the thing. Wormy Spoon says, not Rafa's fault, but seeing FFP and the people running the club couldn't run a tap. Yeah, it's nothing to do with Rafa. It's nothing to do with Rafa Benitez at all. It's not his fault. Situation was created before we got here. Before he got here, sorry. T Hunter says, think Kean will be at Inter, although I would love him to stay. Really need as many choices up top this season. Yeah, but it is one of those. It is, he is an asset that we're trying to sell, and if we, he obviously doesn't want to be at the club. He's never really ripped it up while he's been in the Premier League. So we'll have to wait and see. But if we can get money for him, then I'd be delighted. Like good money, I'd be delighted for him. Let's have a look. Alex Stain saying Sky Sports asking if Lukaku can do it in the Prem. Our best striker since Dixie Dean, scoring almost 30 goals in one season, wasn't mentioned once as an Everton player. No, they never do. They seem to conveniently... You don't know what's mad about Lukaku is? They always say how well he did on loan at West Brom. And it's just like, Jesus Christ. Genuinely, the best I think Lukaku that's has been around is the Lukaku at Everton. I don't think he was the same at Man. I don't forget. I mean, Inter's what he's done there in the league, but in the Premier League, I think he was at his best when he was with us because the team suited him completely. I find it mad. Jay Warbrick says apparently he's deleted all his Everton posts, so if he has, then alone tells you the cryptic message. He's deleted all his posts, all of them, absolutely all of them. He's left like 4 videos, which he probably doesn't know how to delete them. But he's literally deleted everything, so I'm sure he would have had Paris Saint-Germain stuff on there. In fact, I know he did because I'd seen it. Everton Rose says Kean isn't happy. Yeah, in my opinion. I don't think he is, Rose. He's not happy, is he? And that's not... I've got no problem with that. I don't think we should all sit here going, oh, we demand them to be happy. The lad signed for Everton and then COVID hit and all problems follow. He's been left on his alone. He probably got told he was going to be the #1 striker. That hasn't paid off. So let's have a look. What else? Steve Speak is Richie just putting himself in the shop window by making himself available. Hope not, as he'll be our best player on Saturday. He's just won the Olympic medal and is on fire. Why read a negative into the fact that Richarlison, right? So basically, Richarlison sacrificed this. Everton said to him, if you go to the Olympics, that's your holidays. You get your holidays after the Copa America. If you go to the Olympics, they're your holidays. And we've seen what he said afterwards when he said, I'll rest when I'm dead or whatever, or on the side. They're your holidays. We expect you straight back and we expect you to play. We expect you ready to play. Everton will probably decide whether he needs a rest or that kind of thing. But that's what they said. And he said, right, I'm going to sacrifice my holidays. So he's not getting any more. He wasn't getting any more holidays. Going to Tokyo is his holiday. So that's it. And I fully expect him to be an Everton player this season without any issues. So let's have a look. John Jones says, I can't imagine my career in any career in the world where a 19-year-old can control a big club like Everton. We tell him what happens. He has 3 years left on his contract. Well, no, I mean, number one, John, football isn't like any other career. Also, footballers are quite important in football, aren't they? You know, people say footballers have too much power. I mean, they're the ones who literally make it tick, aren't they? They're the ones, you know, who make it happen. When we say we're buying a player or we want to buy this player, we're buying a human being, aren't we? We're buying a human being, and then we put all our stock in that human being to go on the football field and play football. They, you know, when people say, oh, they get paid too much money, well, where would you like the money to go? You know, this is what I always find it fascinating about football. Well, where do you want that money to go? You know, don't get me wrong, I don't want to pay massive ticket prices, you know, but if everything was equal and we were paying a set amount that we were all happy with, and TV were paying a set amount and all that, where do you want that money to go? Because I'd prefer it if most of it went to the players, as long as it didn't bankrupt the club, rather than going to the guy who owns the club, who just sits there and does whatever. So I don't think it is about him controlling a big club. I think Everton want to sell him. Everton want to sell him, but Paris Saint-Germain did not bite. It's as simple as that. They did not bite for him, and they decided. They said they wanted him on loan, and Everton said no, because that's not going to help us. We either need the player or we need the cash. And unfortunately, seeing the world's greatest player take his spot, essentially. Toffee Boy says, as Led Zeppelin once said, communication breakdown. Fair enough. Alex Stain says, what do you think of Cam saying it could just be him taking a break from social media? It could be. It could be. It could be him just clearing the decks and saying, right, this is a fresh start. It's a fresh start. I'm back at Everton and it's a fresh start. Or if he goes somewhere else, it's a fresh start wherever he goes. And forget what's happened. We're going to go forward. You know, that's what it could be. That's what it could be. Hugh says, can you stats to explain why we even got Gomez in the first place, mate? Can't use stats. Gomez in that first season was legitimately a good midfielder for us. And for the money we paid for him, it was a no-brainer. Obviously, he got the injury, and yeah, his stats weren't great in terms of scoring and assists, but he was a ball mover, and it just hasn't worked out. Have a look. James Dunlap says, if Longstaff comes in, I'd give Newcastle Delph in a swap. Newcastle probably just say, no, you're all right. We're all right. I don't need that. Everton Rose says, what do you think about Longstaff? I don't really know. I don't really know. I've seen him play. I think he's just busy, very busy, and I think that's what it's energy in it. I think, like, I haven't looked at his stats or anything. I don't think he's I think he's someone who just sits in midfield and does his job. I think he's young. I think he's energetic. I think he ticks a lot of boxes. Excuse me. I think a lot of criticism has been, certainly in pre-season, the back end of last season, was Allen. Is he mobile enough? To me, Longstaff looks mobile. Got a decent passing range. And we've all said ourselves, there's not enough mobility in this team. So, as I said, I haven't like sat down and watched a lot of them. Because who's got the time to watch Newcastle? Newcastle fans haven't got the time to watch Newcastle. Who'd want to? Juan Suarez Gill says, any player not interested in saying that Everton can leave, Rafa's the manager, will sort this out. It's just getting rid of him. It's just getting rid of him. Where do we go? Where did he go? Where did he go? This is why the last couple of weeks in the window are going to be, I think, frantic. And there's going to be all these little deals. And who's to say that there won't be? And I'm not saying for him. But who's to say there won't be, like, swap deals going on? You know what I mean? We get Longstaff and Newcastle get, like, Delph and one other or something. I could see that happening. For me, I think things like swap deals should become more prominent in football. If there's less money, then your player is the capital. So use the player. It's what happens in other sports. Trades what happen in other sports where money's not used. I think that we could get maybe something there, but I don't see that happening until the last couple of weeks or the last week because people want money. Hennessy 95 says, Everton universe just awful at the moment. Should be excited about football starting soon, but everyone negative. No, you're right, mate. The season starts in 3 days. First time we've been back at Goodison as a full house since Manchester United in March 2020. And there's just so much negativity about. And it's dead easy to say, this negativity's been made because Everton appointed Rafa Benitez. But it's not. We create the negativity as fans because we want something that is unattainable. I look at the way football is at the moment and the fact that with the Messi situation and Grealish going to Man City, and thereafter Kane, and I just think from that point of view, it's just football has just gone even worse than it was. And all you want is this little bit of hope. And I appreciate that Everton aren't really offering that hope at the moment. But, you know, come 3 o'clock on Saturday at Goodison Park, hopefully, you know, we all feel a little bit better. We're all back in the ground. It's not helpful when things like they've got the tickets issue, because it just... And I imagine that'll all be all right. I imagine. Touch wood. But it's all those little things that just add negativity to what's going on. And I don't know whether it would have been any different if we'd got something on, if we'd won on Saturday or something. But then what difference would that have made? Because that's just a pre-season friendly. You know, hopefully we'll have Dom back, Richarlison back, Gabaman, Moise Kean available. And then suddenly things look a little bit brighter and a little bit better. It is what it is. It is what it is. We all just have to pick each other up, I think. Stu P96. How mad's it the way some people who say Dom isn't good enough also saying Kean is an amazing talent? Nias has done more in Everton shirt than him, and that's a fact. No, it still drives me mad that certain elements or certain people want to be proved right over Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It honestly, it baffles me. Now, I'm not sitting here saying Dominic Calvert-Lewin is an amazing striker or he's this or he's that. I think he's a very functional, savvy centre-forward. He's got to get better. We've seen the chances he misses. He's got to get better. But he's got himself to a level now where everyone looks at him and goes, yeah, you're a proper Premier League striker. You know what to do. And it's just people who go, we should get rid of him and we should get rid of Richarlison. It's like, what with the season starting and there are goals? I mean, this was always my argument with James. Like, the goals and assists, you take out the team. But I just find it mad that people just want to be proved right and are hoping that Dom fails. It's mad. It's mad. He's a proper number 9. Is he Harry Kane? No. Is he got the technique of some other strikers in the league? No. Is he as cold in front of goal as some people? No. Has he got the pace of some other players? Well, mate, he's got pace, but he doesn't use it in that way. But he still scored over 20 goals last season. Still a very good functioning centre forward that we've brought in wingers to help out. Best header in the league, bar none. Let's have a look. Kevin Kraft says people have not to fall in the trap of the nonsense social media. Only stick to facts. Toffee TV sticks to facts. Well, we try to. Mike Walker says, that's not a great start. Am I the only one who's happy with Coleman? One more good season for him, for sure. No, I'm not happy with just Seamus Coleman. I'm afraid. He's no. I watched him on Saturday. He got rinsed. Absolutely rinsed. Now he's not going to play against the pace of Dan James every week, but he got rinsed. He should have been sent off, to be fair. Done him twice in about 5 minutes. He should have been sent off. I know that's pre-season, but no. I'm not happy with Seamus Coleman being our right back. Sorry, I'm just not. He is he's past his best, and no. Honestly, I can sit here hand on heart and say I'm not. I love the fella to bits. He's been a great servant, but he's a backup now, and he can't play every week. He's never been a great defender. He's got better at defending, but he's never been a great defender, and he won't last. He won't last all the games. And if his backup's John Joe Kenny, then I'm afraid that is a huge weak spot that Everton needs to get sorted. And I honestly, it's a disgrace it hasn't been sorted. It's an absolute disgrace that it hasn't been sorted, because it's such a glaring issue that it should have been sorted. And It does annoy, it massively annoys me. It massively annoys me. Jed Thickness says, if we get 35 million for Kean, who would you buy? I'd buy a right back. Thanks for the super chat anyway, Jed. I'd buy a right back, and if we can get there fast enough, I'd get Dumfries. I don't think we will get there fast enough. But that's who I'd buy. Let's have a look. Andrew Finella says, as a newer fan to Everton Sport, what's the biggest weakness on this team? Right back. Right back's our biggest weakness. Absolutely is our biggest weakness. John Joe Kenny isn't good enough. He just isn't good enough. Honestly, he's not good enough. Steve Speak says Gomez was a Rolls Royce when we bought him. He was, but we didn't realise that he had absolutely no engine. He was just the outside of it. Dougal UK says Iwobi with 4 assists in 36 games says it all. Absolutely. John Jones says Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a modern striker, Italian style. He's better running with the ball and long shooting, but who is perfect? I don't know if he's better with long shooting. I don't think his shooting outside the box is very good. He comes alive in the box, doesn't he? When things drop, he comes alive. That's where he scored most of his goals last season. Craig says, you'd think clubs would have vetoed FFP after the pandemic. Can't clubs vote to temporarily adjust the rules? They probably could, mate, but they've chose not to, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Gareth Jones says, I'd have Guy back, so would I, in a heartbeat. Dove True Blue says, do you think Tosin stays this summer? Also, Kean needs to clarify his thoughts. Well, Tosin's knee's gone, and he's out till January. He done his knee, didn't he, before the Euros? Well, about April time. So he probably won't play for Everton. I think he's lost his squad number, hasn't he, to Andros Townsend. Johnny says he's Brazilian, a gold medal winning Olympian. He is. He very much is. Last of the Corinthians says the negativity has been created by the club, mishandled for years. Hopefully a win on Saturday will ease things. Fair point, mate. Fair point. Anthony Patrick, and it says, can't wait for Saturday and hope Rafa gets a good reception. Nice one. Dosbeck says, I hope we signed Zakaria. He's a cracking player. Cools King says, what Longstaff or McNeil? I don't really rate. We let Luchman go, but trying to get some joke players who have 2 games against us. No, I don't get McNeil. I honestly don't get him. I don't get him at all. I don't know why people are excited about him. Done absolutely nothing in the Premier League, bar score 1 goal past us. He doesn't score goals. We need to be buying goals. Simple as that. Edward says, how come teams like Paris Saint-Germain can afford to bring in Hakimi, Donnarumma, Ramos, Messi and Wijnaldum, but Everton aren't allowed to buy Dumfries? Blows my mind. I mean, nearly all of them were free transfers. And someone like, can you imagine the shirt sales of Messi? Can you imagine every game now they'll sell out? The ticket prices will go up. Apparently his shirts were sold out within 30 minutes. They sell a lot of shirts. They've marketed themselves incredibly well, Paris Saint-Germain. And they will just become Paris, by the way. You watch, they'll just become Paris. Paris SG. It'll very quickly just become Paris. Because that's the brand name. They make money. Make money. And they'll sell a lot of players now at a premium. Because people go, oh, it's Paris. I think that's what Everton were hoping to get off the Moise Kean thing. Or will be hoping to get off the Moise Kean thing. Oh, look at the goals he scored at Paris. You know, playing with these amazing, exciting players. So it's going to be, that's what Everton, I imagine, will be banking. McCaster says 150,000 shirts sold in 7 minutes for Messi. Sam says, I honestly don't understand why the club doesn't just build a team around Tom. He's good. Dom. He's good enough and could see him staying for a long time. And he would give us consistency, stability. I think they are trying to. I think that's why he bought 2 wingers. I think that's what it was. Edward says, I'd buy 100 Dumfries shirts right now to fix our right back problem. Fair dues. Kazify says, I just feel like Everton need a proper target man. I think they've got like the best target man in the Premier League. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a target man. That's what he is. Last few. Let's have a look. I'm just trying to find a couple of people who haven't said anything and some people who've saying something a little bit different. Martin Hall says, funny, Everton seems the only team worrying about FFP when teams are spending hundreds of millions. But don't forget, we've spent hundreds of millions and we've spent it on crap. Remember that. Remember that. We've spent plenty on crap. Mikey Johnson, Ped, any idea what we can use as proof of vaccination? Had the second jab last week, but in sales have to wait 2 weeks for a COVID pass. Cheers. Get the NHS app and your information should be on there. I don't know how quickly it drops, but yeah, if you get the NHS pass, and then if you've got an iPhone, you can put it in your wallet. There's a link at the bottom to put it in your wallet. Or you can download it if you're on Android. That's what I've done. But it's if you've got the NHS app, it is there. Adam Hockenberry says, I know that is it's less popular name, but Hope from Schalke would be a high value signing. Could play centrally and on the left. Interesting. You know what? There's players out there like that, mate. And this kid apparently we're looking at from Antwerp. We're looking at the right back. He's only 3 or 4 million quid. They're the kinds of players that we should be buying because even if they don't turn out to be good or amazing, we sell on. That's what other clubs do. But what we do is we've just been buying players, average players, at ridiculous prices, and then wonder why we can't sell them on, or we give them stupid wages, and then wonder why no one wants to take them off us, and then they end up going for nothing on a free. So it's like a double thing. We lose money on them because we can't sell them, and then we have to pay all of their contract out. It's mad. I know we started changing it. The players we bought last summer and this summer are a lot shorter contracts, but Everton, we can't ever do that ever again. We just can't. Just can't. We're not getting Coutinho. We never were. Someone saying Newcastle spending 45 million on Willock and Holding. Are they now? I know they were getting Willock, but Holding. Yeah, but they didn't spend last year. They didn't spend. So, barely spending any money. And the money you get from the Premier League, you've got to spend like a little bit, haven't you? Everton just can't. Simple as that. Everton just needs to start buying players who are young at a good price and not stupid wages because other clubs are doing that. We've got to, and then, as basic trigonometry says, signing someone like Coutinho is the problem. It's a problem. We can't do that anymore. Jackson says, are there any Mina rumours? The only rumour today is not even rumour, it's a confirmation. Mina has told James to stay at Everton and basically said, I know they're not the best club in the world, but we could do something here. Which I thought was nice. I thought it was a nice, nice one, Jerry. But Everton View says, A25, who do you want your team, Messi or Cristiano? Messi. Messi's the greatest player of all time. Simple as that. Ronaldo's amazing, but I don't think Ronaldo's even in the top 5 of greatest players of all time. That's just my opinion. And I know I'm going to get loads of hate for that. But Messi, just technically, he's just the best player of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Kieran says, Pep, would you be happy with a Europa Conference finish next season? Yes. Yes, I would. Yes. I want to be in the Europa Conference. I want to smash the Europa Conference. It'd be amazing. It will be amazing. Everton Blue says, Ped, did you know Marco Silva is new manager now? Yeah, Fulham. Come on. I do this for a living. John Smith Jr. says, who's your top 5? Oh, I mean, Maradona, Cruyff. But there's for different reasons, to be honest. They're not just because Messi's my number 1, Maradona's my number 2. I mean, Ronaldo probably would be in the top 5. The other Ronaldo's definitely in the top 5, without shadow of doubt. R9, I think, better than R7, except his knees went. But that's me. That's just me. That doesn't. And that's just on personal experience of watching these players in the real time as well. In real time. Cruyff is the big. By the way, Johan Cruyff is the biggest influence in football of all time. No matter what anyone says, he's the biggest influence of football of all time. Footballer, coach, philosopher. He's the number one. The number one. If anyone ever says like best in football, Cruyff is the number 1. Basically, the football Barcelona played and the football Man City played was developed by Cruyff when he was a player. When he was a player at Ajax, he developed that. He was on the football pitch and he could see everything. He's the father of football, modern football, as far as I'm concerned. Johan Cruyff. Derek, I've never seen Pele, and also like my dad says George Best was miles better than Pele, like miles better. Pele, yeah, he was boss in Escape to Victory, and he scored loads of goals, and he was like, don't get me wrong, like when you watch him in 1970 and stuff, and 62, looks incredible. Like 70, he was just having a laugh, wasn't he? He was just having a laugh, and he probably was. He invented half his goals, but he never played. He never played in Europe. He always played Santos. World Cups, he was amazing. I know that. But Messi, to me, is the number 1. Just because of football. Ronaldo, incredible player. Incredible. And I don't think anyone should ever have an argument over who's the best. R9, Ronaldo. If people weren't around at the time, you can't appreciate how good he was. He was unbelievable. And he had all these injuries. And he was still unbelievable. The things he could do with a foot, the feet. His feet were just unbelievable. Someone just mentioned Marco van Basten was my hero when I was a kid. He was my non-Everton hero. He was unbelievable. No, Howard Wilkinson was definitely not the father of modern football. There you go. I'm going to leave it there. I've spoke for quite a while. Yeah, basic trigonometry. R9. If R9 played now and had the protection afforded to other players, he would just be unbelievable. But he had the absolute kicked out of him every game. Because no one could handle him. Nobody could handle him. He was incredible. Don't forget, this is the kid who had a fit the night of the World Cup in '98, and they made him play. And then 4 years later came back and won the World Cup for Brazil. So there's loads of other players. It all comes down to what era you watched. Loads of people will tell you it's Maradona because of the pictures. And you know what? Who am I to tell those people they're wrong? Maradona was unbelievable. But he didn't do it every single season for 15 years, did he? He didn't do it every year. He did it for like 5 or 6 years. When most of the time he was off his head. Watch the Maradona documentary. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Give that a watch. And Neville Southall was the greatest goalkeeper of all time. There you go. That is me. I am done. We will be back at 5 o'clock for the live on YouTube. Baz should be here. He should be back from his trip to Manchester with hobnobbing with Gary Neville and Roy Keane or whoever who he's with. I don't know. There you go. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want daily live videos, Patreon. every single day. Have a laugh. Great community. If you want to go and check that out, please do so. We've got some awesome new t-shirts as well. A couple of absolutely boss t-shirts to start the season with. Make sure you check out them. The link is in the description. It's in the comments as well. Ned's put it in the comments because he's actually getting good at his job. There you go. I'll see you later.